Hey everyone, this is Ted Santos, your host of Straight Talk, that talk show that is made for men by men. And ladies, not even you want to miss that. And at Straight Talk, we address provocative conversations, provocative subjects. We also address topics that are just common every day and everyone's speaking about it, except we always take it from a perspective that may be counterintuitive or even politically incorrect. So today I'm going to take on, as you see, a topic of what do women really want from men? Do they know what they want from men? And I'm going to today give you a man's perspective of a woman's perspective. That's right. I had a chat with about 50 women, men in the room also, and we talked about leadership. So for decades, women have been talking about, hey, I want a man who's a leader. And so we asked the women, well, okay, so you want a leader. Great. What kind of leader do you expect a man to be? That was sort of the background. In addition to that, there was a follow-up question which supported, hey, okay, you want a leader. What we also hear you say, ladies, you'll only submit to a man who's a leader. Great. So talk to us about the kind of leader you submit to. How will you know? What are the things that he would need to do? So very interesting. And I say that because one of the bigger problems is that women have ideas about relationships and leadership that come from fairy tales. It comes from Hollywood. It comes from gossip magazines. And oh my God, one of the worst places they get it from, which is the oxymoron, is reality TV. So you watch the Basketball Wives. You watch reality TV about relationships, and women actually believe those things will help and support them and better understand relationships. People have to understand that everything you read, everything you hear, what you see, it's recorded in your brain, and your brain retains that. And then your brain, those things that you've been exposed to influence your decisions, and you may not even realize it. It just does. And I'm not even talking about triggers from your childhood. I'm talking about it shapes your expectations. And it just becomes normal. So in this conversation with women and men, but the conversation was to the women, so us men could better understand what women are thinking. So we were not allowing women to just say, I want a leader. And it's interesting when you can peel back the layers and really create an environment that's safe enough so women can get behind this mask of a generalized term of leadership, and they start talking about sort of the obvious. They want a man who has a plan, a man with a vision. But then they started talking about a man with clear thinking. And what they were not saying is, and we had to sort of tease it out, tease it. They were looking for a guy who had great conflict resolution skills. So clear-headed and logical. They kept saying logical. But the ability to resolve conflict, and what they admitted to and why those were so important was that women understood that they were more emotional and could sometimes be irrational and run off the rails, and they needed a guy who could bring them back to a functional state of mind. Functional in the sense of what's the state of mind that supports a an effective relationship where both sides are getting what they want. And they seem to understand that when they get moody and emotional, it's not in anyone's best interest. And as women, they had the right to do that. We addressed that too. So why do women think they have the right to do that? Because they were saying they wanted the right to lead a man. And it seemed that it was less about, as we peeled down the layers, it was less about her leading the man. It was more about her wanting to be acknowledged for having some expertise, some knowledge, her being in possession of information, whether it's from a college degree or her career or some other way she acquired knowledge. She wanted to be able to contribute that to a man. So maybe that was the part of the leadership, because you started getting into conversations about, well, does the man know how to follow, and he should submit to me. You know, it started getting a little bit messy in that area. But I think the biggest part was the inaccuracy of a woman's perception, and man's too, but a woman's perception of leadership. And so that's where the conflict begins. So on one hand, they're saying, I want a man who's motivated, he's a great decision maker, emotional intelligence, so that's the ability to resolve conflict, right? Ambitious, logical, and they kept talking about balance, integrity, clear-minded. But then they had this perspective of leadership that while it's popular, and this is why I'm saying to you, people are influenced by popular culture, TV, media, reality TV shows, magazines, books that are giving people inaccurate information, and no one has a way of checking to make sure what they are learning is valid. So we had to address the woman's idea of what they thought a leader was in contrast to what actually happens, what effective leaders are doing. And that fits right into the other thing women wanted from men, is they wanted men they could learn from. So we had to talk about how the best leaders actually create learning environments, coach people up, and teach their people by example, and also by coaching them up and creating situations that could sometimes be uncomfortable. So we really had to talk this through, and it was very interesting. We had some conflict and disagreement in the conversation. So I'm going to actually cut this video here, because in my Patreon account, I get really heavy into what women were looking for from a man, and how women misconstrued the role of a leader, and how their misunderstanding of leadership put them in immediate conflict with herself and with the man. And it helps you understand why so many women will, on one side of their mouth, say, I want a man to lead, and on the other side, she's sabotaging, even when she does meet a man who's great, a great leader. So if you're not connected into my Patreon account, I urge you to go there and hear that video as well as many more. And that video has the same title as this one. So I ask that you like and share my video. Definitely share it. This is a conversation that needs to be had. If there's some topics that you would like to hear, let me know. And the other thing that came out of this conversation with the women were questions. So in that Patreon account, you'll hear some of those questions that we didn't get to, because the commitment was to create a safe environment for women to speak. So like, share, comment to this video. Like to hear your thoughts about it. And until next time, thanks a lot for following me. And if you're not click the subscribe button and click the bell so you hear about my next videos and shows that come up, my live streams, and I'll have one tomorrow, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.